Charlotte Soccer Show. We're back in effect. It's Danny Brams here for another edition of Decoding the Presser after a rough way to go last night versus Miami. Happy 4th of July, everyone. If you're watching this today on the holiday, I salute you for sure. If you're watching this a little bit later, I hope you had a great 4th. God bless America. It is our home and native land. Oh, wait, that's Canada. But anyway, I love the 4th of July. I love to celebrate our country, and I hope everybody had great time outdoors on a very, very hot summer here in the Carolinas. This is Decoding the Presser. We're here to talk about what happened last night. A nice effort, really great, well-played game. And we're going to hear what Dean Smith had to say about it. We're going to hear what Ashley Westwood had to say about it, and then we're going to maybe take a little bit of a closer look at that Patrick Agyemang red card that didn't really affect the game result per se, but it's certainly going to affect Charlotte in their next match as they have the Ohio double coming up starting in about 10 days. And we'll talk about all that. We'll take a look at the table, but it's Decoding the Presser. So that's what we do here. We talk about press conferences. We listen to what Dean Smith has to say, and we react to it. So let's react, and let's hear Dino. Take it away, my friend.
Message to him is, keep doing what you're doing in terms of how you're playing and how you're making runs and chances and, getting better at his finishes, but it's a learning experience for him. I've not seen the incident back, so I don't know actually what he'd done, but it was a straight red card, so he must have done something in the referee's eyes, but he has to keep learning, that's what he's doing. He's a tough player to play against, and he gave them all kinds of problems today. He's hit the post. Keeper's made an unbelievable save from him. He scored a great goal. Should have had a penalty. Not much more I can say on him, to be honest.
So obviously that's the first question to Dean is about the red card and about Patrick. Patrick scored a wonderful goal, had another missile that he fired off in the first half that just clanged the post. Could have gone. I wish that one would have been just a little bit more inside. Could have gone in. Had a great chance that he created all on his own. Burned that dude Christoph, who was subbed at half, to work his way inside for a shot. Kind of could have laid off to Abada, but he fired a shot, and Callender made a really nice save. Drake Callender, the Miami keeper. Patrick played a really good game. The red card is unfortunate. We will look at the red card in just a minute after we finish here with Dino, because this is a presser base. We focus on the presser here, but I got a little video clip for you as well, because I do want to see it. And Dino said, as he mentioned there, had not seen it yet. And let's see. I'm probably the next question will be a follow up on that, so I'm just going to let him keep going.
The goal ratio today being 14.
We deserved the victory today. We played well enough to win the game. Unfortunately, things conspired to lose us the game. I've got my opinions on their first goal. I called offside straight away, and having seen it back on the monitor, the switch of plays offside. But we haven't got the modern lines that everybody else has around the world to call it offside. And then we missed chances which should have took us out of the game. The goalkeeper's made some good saves on others, but there's chances that we should have taken that would have won us the game. But the standard of officiating for me wasn't good enough in the game, or wasn't consistent enough in the game.
Okay, so they go to officiating, which at this point is a standard theme of any Dean Smith press conference. I don't think he has ever had any match where he was fully happy with what went on with the officiating, and that's fine. That's at this point, that's just who Dean is. He's always going to make a commentary on the officials, and if you don't like it, get used to it at this point. I do think that there's some evidence there. I don't necessarily agree that first Miami goal was offside, but I'd have to look back even closer, I suppose. He always mentions the modern lines, and these days he kind of there's things about MLS that Dean Smith does not appreciate, I think, and he's still adjusting to, even here, 2/3 of the way through the season almost. But we'll see if things are different in Leagues Cup in a few weeks. Probably won't be. But the thing of it is right before Patrick's red card, there was a foul that created a free kick situation for Charlotte late in the match, trying to equalize, right? And that foul was on this dude Gomez for Miami, and it was clearly he should have had a second yellow. He shoved Tiger Smalls in the back. He was on a yellow, made no attempt to play the ball, and just shoved the dude. And, it's nice to get a free kick, but, if the red card is given there, the second yellow, and Gomez is sent off, suddenly it's a whole different thing. Miami it just changes the vibe. It changes what's going on in the box, and maybe Patrick doesn't end up getting that straight red. Really unfortunate. I tend to agree with Dino this time that the standard of officiating was very inconsistent. Nothing really jumped out, but there was just a lot of ticky-tack stuff. And other than that Gomez thing, nothing really jumped out. And maybe the offside. I'll look back at that at a later date and just check out that offside. But the potential offside, Dean thought it was offside. I don't know. We're not blaming the refs, but man, it is tough to get like a well-refereed game in this league. Sometimes it really feels.
Describe what you saw in the second goal for Inter Miami. What went wrong there?
I think they got a switch of play, and it was a good ball underneath us, and the lad slid it in. I'd have to, go back and look at it. I was thinking about what I'm going to come and say to you, and I actually don't know, because I keep checking to see if my watch is there. It feels like somebody's nicked my watch off me. It feels like we've had points nicked. It's a bit of a highway robbery. But I'm not going to get involved and criticise the officials, because I'm not giving any of my money to the MLS.
Who stole Dino's watch? Who nicked Dino's watch off him? Come on, y'all. Someone come clean.
For Diani. Yeah. He's been doing really well. He came on last week, had 2 really good chances. The way he's trained and performed has been really good. It was hot out there, and Didi was feeling it a little bit, so we thought that would be a change. And I thought he got between the lines really well as well. And our final ball at times could have been better in the second half. First half, I thought we dominated the game. Second half, our final ball could have been a bit better.
Talking about Yuri Tavares there, who's found his way back into the rotation very nicely. I thought Yuri played well, had a nice little spinorama move that almost created a real good chance in, and just the ball just got away from him after the spin move, but he spun a defender nicely. And Yuri's up for the fight. I really like Yuri Tavares. He's another young player that I think is going to be good. And I liked the sub at half, because I thought we were too defensive. I thought we were sort of giving Miami too much respect. I know they've got Gressel. I know they've got Alba. But when they're missing Messi and Suarez, we got to take, and we're at home, we got to take the game to them. So I didn't love the starting 11. No beef with any of the individual players in the starting 11. I just didn't like the setup personally. And I'm glad we went to a more attacking, look in the second half with Tavares coming in for Diani. Unfortunately, it just didn't work.
I'm just curious. I know the team created most opportunities early. How do you think they kind of responded to that first Miami goal and then had getting the equalizer 10 minutes later?
No, I thought they responded really well. I thought we kept doing the things that had got us on top in the first half. So it didn't faze us that they scored. It was disappointing as it was, because, as I said, I thought it was offside. And the replay I've seen, appears to show that it was, but it happens and you have to get on with it. And I thought the lads did, and they recovered really well, and got a deserved equaliser. Just disappointed, because I think that's one of our best performances of the season against a really good team.
Did you take any?
I have to echo Dean's commentary there. That the fight back was nice. The bounce back ability that he had spoken about pregame. He said our team needs to have bounce back ability, and going down 1-0 at home, they fought and they got an equalizer before halftime. Patrick scored just a freaking really nice goal, just really well played by him, and just finished with fire. They almost tried to call that one off. If you remember, they went to Patrick's goal and looked at VAR, and it's just so frustrating, because these refs still don't know how to officiate when it comes to Patrick Agyemang. His blend of skill at the size that he has is just uninterpretable for some of these referees who just don't want to believe that he's capable of doing the things that he clearly does week in and week out. So hopefully they will learn. I was really glad they didn't wave off that goal that he scored, because it looked like they might for a minute, unfortunately. But I got to echo Dean. It was just a really good effort against a really good team. Miami is a good team. I used to think they were horrible. You could say, oh, they're just a one-man team. They're just Inter Messi. But no, they're a good team. They got a great coach, Tata Martino, Julian Gressel. For Julian Gressel would be the best player on some MLS clubs, and he's like their 4th or 5th best player on this Miami team. So that should tell you something. And it's not a good result, but it is a good performance. It's just unfortunate.
Changed in the second half that led to that Inter Miami goal?
There's a few decisions that went against us that I felt we should have had. But no, I thought our mentality was good. I think the game got a little bit stretched. Our front four got a little bit stretched from our back six. But but I think theirs did as well. It was that sort of game, you know, and they just showed that little bit of quality at the end, I suppose.
Well, I guess what was the message during halftime? Because it felt like you mentioned, the performance was consistent. Like you guys kept attacking. It was good overall. Just the result was there.
Yeah, the message was to keep doing the same. We showed some clips of, you know, where their goal come from, and we emptied the midfield a little bit too quickly, and there's a little bit too much eagerness to go and win the ball back. You know, and they managed to switch play. But again, it was showing them clips as well of how we're hurting them, and you know they made a sub at half time and changed it as well with Busquets, who you know is an unbelievable footballer. You know, you watch him pass the ball and you smile, even though he's on the opposition. But you know, I thought we was really good today.
There were chances.
To quote Danny Brackett's friend of the show and often contributor to the show, who was quoting someone else who I don't know, but you know, you watch the game, you don't see Sergio Busquets, but you watch Sergio Busquets and you see the game. Busquets was great last night, and Dino rightly signifies that there was a very smart sub. I mentioned Tata Martino, great coach. He realized that Christoph was just getting absolutely bodied by Agyemang and was sitting on a yellow at halftime, so he subbed off. He subbed off one of his center backs and brought in a new midfielder and let Busquets go back to center back. And that paid off very well for Miami. They were much more able to contain Patrick at that point. And it's unfortunate. I keep saying that. But Miami's a good team. We gave a good performance. We just didn't quite get there. But I actually, you know, and I have a short patience. I don't always like hearing, you know, what I feel is Dino not making excuses, but just like explaining away things that go wrong. And in this case, though, I got to agree with him.
Obviously missed. Do you feel like you're missing, I guess, like a striker that can put more goals away? Is that something this team still needs?
I think we're missing too many chances in too many games, and if we were taking them chances, we'd be top three for sure. You know, with the way we've played in games, the way we've restricted the opposition and some of the big chances we've missed, you know, that's been our biggest problem we've had.
And is that more towards?
I got to agree there. We do not finish. Finishing is our biggest issue, and if we finish our chances, we'd be top three.
We're always looking to bring people in who can come and improve the team. But we're working hard with the players that we have on the roster as well to improve them as well, and that's part of a coaching job.
And then, did you get a chance, I guess, to speak to Pat or Ashley?
Everybody wants transfers, obviously. We need some new reinforcements to come in, but we still got 2 matches before the transfer window officially opens. Obviously, after that, Swiderski should be available. But, man, it's going to really, really, really suck to go play Cincy with no Agyemang. The good news is we got a few days. I don't know, maybe we could appeal that red card. It looked a little dicey. We will look at it after we finish hearing from Dino here, and you can be the judge. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk more about a potential appeal on that in just a minute.
You look visibly upset at Pat getting that red right at the end.
Well, I can understand him being visibly upset. Unfortunately, we're human beings, and you know he would have been aggrieved that he didn't get a penalty, which he should have had. And the red mist was probably still floating around there, and he's human. You know, he's still learning, and you know he'll learn the emotional control, and he'll learn probably how to fall a bit better when he's getting fouled. And when he does, he'll be a hell of a player.
He's already a hell of a player, but he will be even better. I agree.
Before you talk about deep in the game, the one that you said Pat deserved.
Yeah, did you see a few more? Yeah, okay.
The laughing gaffer, we love him.
The message is I think we've taken a big step forward today with the performance, but we've got to make sure we continue that. We've got a tough group of games coming up, we're aware of that. We'll have a few days off now and then build up to the Cincinnati game, and all we can do is learn from it, but know that you know we've gone toe to toe with probably the most informed team in the league with their points tally, and should have beaten them. And unfortunately, as I say, you know that highway manners took too much off me.
I'm loving all these references to things being stolen that Dean is kind of slipping in. You know, the highwayman, the nicked my watch and stuff like that. Like he's going right up as far as he can to the line without actually getting fined. He's actually very savvy here. He's making it clear that he's not happy with the referee's performance, and I don't think any of us are, but he's keeping himself from getting fined, and he's making sure that he's not giving any of his money to MLS. So, you know, cheers.
What are you going to do for that?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, listen, first of all, I'll look back at it because I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know whether it's a deserved red or whether we can appeal. I don't even know if we can appeal in the MLS. I don't know how their systems run. Sorry?
You get 2 appeals.
Right, okay. So I'll have to have a look. I'll have to have a look at it and decide whether it's worth appealing or not, or whether the referee's actually got one right.
So tomorrow's the UK election. Did you vote absentee?
That's pretty funny.
I've had a
one, too.
postal vote, yes, which I sent a few weeks ago. Thank you.
Dean has voted in the election. He should have worn his sticker. Good luck, Brits. You're voting today.
Tonight, he's ranked 3rd in the league for most assists from left backs. You know, what's been his impact this year in the season?
I'm not sure that can really count as an assist when you're taking a throw in your own half. And it bounces over the lad and he runs through and scores. But I suppose, you know, that's probably why he takes all the corners as well, because that's an easy assist to get as well, isn't it? So, yeah, no, but listen, he's playing well at the moment, which is good for us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We love a cheap assist, obviously. Stats, all stats count. So, yeah, but that is kind of funny to hear Dean say assist shouldn't count on a throw-in. But, hey, what can you do? Let's look at the red card, because he mentioned right at the end there were some questions about could we appeal this, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I put this little clip together here just showing kind of what happens. You can see Patrick's not happy. He's mad with these guys. And then right there, you see he gets mad, and you don't see it, unfortunately. It's off camera there, but he stomps on the dude's foot, and the dude goes down. I think that's a dive, personally. Obviously, the guy knew what to do. As soon as you feel like someone stomp on your foot, you just go down. I'm not saying it wasn't painful, but here's a different look. And this look doesn't show us much either, unfortunately. But it does show us sort of the building frustration with Patrick and how they're grabbing at his waist, and they won't leave him alone. The ref's not helping him out. And he's like, get off me, bro, you know, and he kind of stomps down on it. And then, yeah, that angle didn't show, unfortunately, the whole the guy go down. But here it is again. You can see, like, Patrick's a young kid, and he's said in press conferences that it does get frustrating when he plays a whole match and he's getting fouled the whole time. The calls aren't coming. And he said that he's working on controlling his reactions and controlling what he can control. You see Melanda's pissed there too. And then there's a stomp. You know, it is a stomp. I think it's going to be tough to appeal. Again, look at Addy, like, fighting this guy off here. Addy's like, get the hell off me. These little, you know, what do they call them? Shit stirrers. You know, everyone in Miami is just stirring shit right there. And Patrick gets the red. I don't know. Like, this dude, Bright, the dude Aviles, Gomez, they were all just, you know, effing around with our guys here in a key moment, because this could have been a lady. This is a dangerous free kick, promising chance for an equalizer. Didn't come through for Charlotte FC, and it's too bad because we're going to really need Patrick for that Cincinnati match. Dean mentioned Cincinnati. We are going to hear from the captain, Ashley Westwood, for a couple minutes here just in a second, but it's probably our toughest stretch of games of the season coming up at this point, the way it's all played out in terms of at Cincinnati, at Columbus 4 days later, at Austin 3 days after that. Come home, play New York Red Bulls, the freaking Red Bulls, who always are make it tough on us and are never easy to play. We can beat them at home, but and then we finally get Atlanta at home after that. So these next 4 games, well, actually, I think we get I should mention that Red Bulls and Atlanta game are after Leagues Cup. After the Austin game, we start Leagues Cup, which who knows how many of that games that'll be. It'll be at least 2. But here is the table real quick before we get to Westwood. You can see Charlotte FC does not play on Saturday the 6th, so it's an off day. We've had this game in hand on a lot of the teams around us. So a lot of these teams, Nashville, Red Bulls, and New York City, will catch up on games played. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice to get a rest. You know, losing 2 in a row and then having 2 insanely tough matches against the second and third place teams. We basically 3 games in a row. We're going to play the first place team, the second place team, the third place team in the East, which is wild. And we need to get results. We should have had the 1-1 against Miami. I think that would have been very encouraging. Even at home, to get a draw against the top team in the league would have been nice. It sucks to lose in the 87th minute and then to lose our striker for the next match. So things could be a lot better. Look at Toronto, how they've fallen off 5 losses in a row. They were rising for a little bit, and they're going to start sinking again. I think clubs like Orlando and maybe New England can even look to be passing Toronto in the next few game weeks and things like that. Atlanta is very inconsistent, and they're kind of a team in disarray. They lost Giamakis, their striker. Almada is going to be going to Brazil at some point now. He's being transferred. So I forget if that's end of the year, if that's in the summer window. I'd have to double check me on that, but feel free to set me straight in the comments, please. I'd love that. And also click like on the video, please, if you're watching it this deep in. Just give us, just a little thumbs up, let us know we're doing a good job. But yeah, so we want to see better from this club. If we can get results in Ohio, if we can get, let's say, 4 points out of Cincy and Columbus, which is what we got against those 2 teams at home, we're going to be sitting very, very, very pretty. If we lose to Cincinnati and Columbus both at their places, we're going to be sitting on a 4-game losing streak headed to Austin, and probably, most likely, we won't have slipped out of the playoff position at that point, but we'll be like hanging on by a very thin thread. Let's go to Ohio and get some results for sure. We got 10 days, 9 days now as the date of this recording to get it right. So let's get it right for sure. How about we hear from Westwood now for a couple minutes here to close this thing out? Thanks everybody who's been watching and having a good time with us.
Want to jump in, Nick?
Yeah.
The captain,
Ashley,
without further ado.
Gaffer said one of the best performances of the year, especially the first 60, 70 minutes. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, we said it at half time. We were excellent. I thought we dominated the ball. We let them, I think, have one chance, and it come from us giving the ball away. And the disappointing thing at half time, we spoke about transitions because that's what they want. And at the end of the day, that's cost us in the end. They've got quality players that can put the ball in the back of net. And like I said, that little bit of concentration on the ball, we give the ball away, and you get punished. That's what happens when you play the top sides.
So what was the difference?
Yeah, I think the emotion I feel here coming off Ashley is just bittersweet because it was a good performance. We did take it to them. We showed that we were protecting the fortress and defending the keep. But like the problem is Miami's both their goals came from similar moves, which was like swing the ball out wide and just send a cross in. The first goal was a cutback goal where I wish someone had been marking Robert Taylor in the box. That guy. If you saw me, I went on the Battered Herons Miami podcast this week as a special guest, and they were talking. I was saying, "Oh, we'll beat you guys. And like this dude, Chris, who's one of their hosts, was like, "Robert Taylor, man, Robert Taylor's going to get you guys." So I hate the fact that I do like Chris, but I hate the fact that he was proven right there because I don't really like Robert Taylor that much. Sucked he scored the first goal against us, and the second goal they scored was just a worldy of a service cross from Julian Gressel. Just an absolute baller of a pass. Gressel is a great player. He's MLS Cup winner with Atlanta. Was on the Columbus MLS Cup winning side, although I don't think he played much in that game, if I remember right. But Gressel's a great player, and it's tough the way it went. I do think I wish Priv would have laid out for that cross to try to just like kick. He watched it go by him. It was not close to him, so it would have been a struggle. But I wish he would have just dove and tried to cut that thing off and kick it out of bounds. I think he was a little too careful there. But overall, I cannot disagree with Westwood. It sucks when your best performances are not your best results because it leads to bittersweetness, but it was a good performance.
On the flip side for you all, what couldn't you do that you thought you had?
I think the way we controlled the first half, the way we didn't force it, we stayed patient on the ball and we took players out and then found the gaps. I thought we did that magnificent the first half. Like I said, the gaffer said it's the best. I think it's the best performance we've had first half. But like I said, they're a top side. They're a top side, and we can learn from that. But we can take credit as well because I thought we were excellent today. We matched them, and in there we've come away disappointed. And I have to say I thought we were the better side.
I know you can't share what you said to the ref, but can you kind of talk about what was being said during many different moments? Because you were pretty heated.
Yeah, like I said, they've got players that influence the game. They've got big players who influence the game. So we have to battle with that. So it's my job as captain to try and fight our case. And like I said, it's one of them things, but it's frustrating, put it that way.
when Pat got the red, you seemed frustrated with him as well. Maybe what was that conversation like? What can you share about it?
Yeah, I saw it. It was a blatant stamp, and you can't do that. So, but Pat's a young lad. He said in there after he was frustrated with those getting pulled around, but he needs to take that as a compliment because teams are starting to focus on him now, and like I said, he needs to take it as a compliment, and now he's starting to get a name and be recognised. But I'm sure he'll learn from it. He'll have to sit out a couple of games, I'm sure, and it's time for him to not let that happen again. That's for sure.
Dean, one of the things he mentioned in the press.
I mean, that's interesting perspective. I really like to hear that from Westwood. He saw it up close, and he said that's a red. You can't do that. So that just hearing that Westwood say that kind of dampens any hope of an appeal. I would think. I would hope it would just be a one game suspension. Might end up getting 2 for it. We'll have to see exactly what MLS says on that. But yeah, you can see Westwood is like, I like that perspective where he's like, you got to control yourself. You got to take it as a compliment when they're treating you like that, and you cannot overreact. And Patrick just got too frustrated and just overreacted, and it's unfortunate. But knowing Westwood, who was there with sort of the bird's eye view, the up close and personal look at it, makes me feel like that red card is probably going to stand now. So
it feels like the team's missing too many chances. If we were to put more chances away, it'd be a top 3 team. How do you feel like this team can improve?
Well, exactly that. I mean, that's what they've done to us tonight. We've given the ball away, and they've punished us. They've put a ball behind us, and they've scored. I think they've only had 3 clear chances and scored 2. So again, that's the difference. But Patrick's first half, the keeper's made a great save. So we are creating chances, but again, that's why they've got quality players up there, and that's what we need to strive to be. Because I believe we can be a top 3 side.
Nice. Is it a positive that there's?
So do I, Cap. So do I.
Between this and the next game, or would you guys kind of like to get back and balancing it again?
No, it's been a tough run. Obviously, we've had a few games midweek, and like I said, the boys travelled to Houston last week in the heat, and they've gone again tonight, and gives us time to have a few days off, relax, and get ready for the next. We've got a tough run now, and that'll be a real test of our character.
Dean mentioned that the game felt like it got a bit stretched toward the end of the game. You mentioned that they scored in transition. Is that something you guys were trying to avoid, or was that just kind of how it felt because you guys both created chances during that kind of stretch?
Yeah, I mean, we controlled the game first half. We were patient on the ball. We're not a team that want to get into transition. We want to control the game. But like I said, we give them one in the first half. We got lucky with that. They missed that. We got punished, and then again in the second half, it become a bit end to end. I think that's where our experience lets us down a little bit, and we need to read the game when we're starting to get away from us. We need to start to slow it down again, like we did in the first half. Because if we play that in the first half, we can go and dominate any team.
It's tough when they sub in Boost.
You
They
embrace
move
the
Boost gets back to center.
American
That could
culture.
be just
What
starts
are you going to do
controlling
for
things.
fourth this year?
This
is your second one.
So we've got it was my boy's birthday on the 1st. His friend's birthday today, and I think we're going to celebrate tomorrow. Hopefully we'll go over to Lake Norman and then celebrate his after and watch the fireworks.
Hey, if you want to see Ashley Westwood today, go to Lake Norman, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty. I can't believe he gave away his plans there. But all in all, a really disappointing night. The way it went, to lose it late. I think 1 point would have been very, very nice there, and I think 3 points were even on the table. Some of the chances we had in the first half were feel like they should have been converted. Kerwin Vargas also had an insanely good chance that he shot just over the bar. And like Kerwin, I love Kerwin. Kerwin's a great player. We say on this show, protect Kerwin Vargas at all costs. But Kerwin needs to start getting shots on target. He has a really rough time percentage-wise. His shots very often sky over the goal, and like when he gets them on target, he has a great chance to score, but he doesn't do it enough for me. So I'd like to see more of that from Kerwin. That's Decoding the Presser. I'm Danny Brams. Charlotte FC is off this week. Johnny and I are going to be back at some point to preview the Ohio Double. Really appreciate everyone who continues to support this channel and make things happen. We have the best podcast listening audience in the business. I've always said that. And love all y'all. Happy 4th of July. Get out there and do something fun outside. That's what I'm about to do. And until then, it's for the crown, baby.